Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Boss Talk. I am your host, Beverly Brister, and today I have a very special guest here today. Back in 2022, he started planting vegetables and herbs just as a hobby. Then it quickly became his passion, and now, fast forward a couple of years, it is now his own business, Grace Garden, at the age of 17. Today, the garden produces herbs and vegetables and is well on its way to expanding its product line in the near future. So, my guest is not only a business owner, he is also my oldest son, and I am so proud of him. Please welcome to the show, Justin Brister. Hey, Jess.
Hi, Mom.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good, good, good. So excited that you're part of my show because you are a boss. And so, people need to see what you're doing.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. So tell us what inspired you to plant and go get into gardening?
So, in 2022, my dad told me how I used to always wanted to plant some vegetables because my aunt has a farm in Virginia. So we went to Home Depot and we were really going to purchase just a tomato plant because we didn't know what we were doing. And then this one person came to us and we ended up buying a whole lot of plants. And we didn't know what we were going to do. But then once we planted in the ground and we started growing it, I was just so amazed how we got all this fruit and we did not even know what we were doing. So that's what inspired me to grow even more fruits and vegetables.
Wow. Wow. Now, how did you decide which vegetables or herbs to plant for your garden?
Yeah, so a lot of times different vegetables they grow at different times. Like they prefer warm weather and
Mm-hmm.
some prefer cool weather.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually choose based on like usually the growing season is in the spring. So I can
Mm-hmm.
grow a lot of vegetables like tomatoes, cucumbers, and even like potatoes. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how I'm able to choose like what I can grow in certain times.
Wow. And we witnessed all of the things that you were able to harvest. Like there was this batch of carrots that you had and took up
Yeah.
a whole case of like a box full of carrots here.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just so happy that that I harvested a lot of carrots, and it's like I grew this myself from seed, and just
Mhm.
like the zucchini, like we got a lot of zucchinis like over the season, and it's just
Mhm.
amazing how just one plant can produce a whole lot of fruit.
Right, right. And someone even had you come and help them out with their planter boxes, one of the businesses downtown here in West Orange, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I got hired by Miss Gia and Olivia, and I was watering her plants and making sure that they were healthy too.
Great, great. That's just amazing. And I know that had to be a fun experience for you and to be hired for the first time, right?
Yeah, it was really I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So what would you say would be one of your biggest challenges to getting your business started and the whole process of gardening?
Yeah, so it was kind of a challenge because I'm still in school and I had to manage my time like with my homework and also with the and also how am I gonna like be able to sell this produce.
Hmm.
And so how I was able to kind of manage it was I would usually do the farmers market on the weekend.
Hmm.
And when I usually like when there were times like where I had a lot of produce like to where it would be we weren't able to like we weren't able to use it, like we had to I could sell it. So
Hmm.
that's when I was able to set up like a tent like and sell it right there.
Wow. Yeah. And I remember those farmers market days. It's you had family and friends come out and they definitely enjoyed what you had to offer. And what would you say would be one of your proudest moments in gardening and having your business?
Um, I would say my proudest moment is like because when I do my farmers market, I also give people tours of my garden. Um,
Mhm.
and I just like how because I share my knowledge with people and tell them how to grow how this plant grows and how to take care of this other plant. And it's
Mhm.
just I really love sharing my knowledge with people and it's like they're always I like seeing a smile on their faces and it's like wow, this is how it grows and I didn't think it would be like that. And like
Right.
even to me, it's like I didn't know it could grow like that. And it just makes me so happy. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it makes me so relaxed too.
That's awesome. And you want to talk about bringing a smile to people's faces. Your farmers markets did exactly that because I remember those days we were out there those on the weekends, and you had a whole tray full of vegetables like this here, which your tomatoes, and you had some other items out there too. You want to talk about uh, that a little bit?
Yeah, so I had tomatoes, I had cucumbers, zucchini. There was also another one where I harvested my potatoes and sweet potatoes, so I also sold those too. And also I also with some of the cucumbers I harvested, I made my own pickles.
Yeah, I remember that. And and now, yeah, you had a couple of jars of pickles too that they were we people were asking about them, and I remember the first three that you had on the table, they flew.
Yeah, they
People came in
did.
and were like, "I'll take them." Or I don't even know how much they cost, but I'll take them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then your root vegetables and everything here, you had a full harvest. That was I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
So,
it was really amazing.
mhm. Fun times. Now, what are some of the things that you did to market the business and to attract people to your farmers market?
So I usually post like gardening stuff on my Instagram page
Hmm.
and also like what I harvested. So that's I also found like that was a good way for me to attract customers too. And
Hmm.
when I am like I'm about to have a farmers market, I would make a flyer and put it in the mailboxes of my neighbors and all around the neighborhood, so that way
Hmm.
they would know about it too. And
Hmm.
on the day of the farmers market, I would make a sign and it would be like a poster board, and we would put it on the poles at the end of our street.
Hmm. Hmm. Now, you kind of came up with your own marketing, your plan for how you're going to go about canvassing the neighborhood and printing. We had a whole printing press situation going on here. I remember that. Now, and I know those things can add up. That's your marketing, but you may not think about it. It's like a little label here, it's a bag there, but those things cost. So, how do you manage budgeting for the resources it takes to run the farmers market in your business as well as marketing? How do you manage the resources that you get from that?
So oftentimes when I was working at a job, that was like my source of income. So I would use
Mhm.
that as a to like buy like equipment and stuff that I would need
Mhm.
to maintain the business,
Mhm.
to also grow and to also continue gardening. And also I would also ask you and Dad like if there were things I needed, that and you would provide like it's like investing in my
Mhm.
business. And when I
Mhm.
do like the farmers market, like yeah, like all those things that they do cost, and
Mhm.
after adding up all of those, and then when I'm selling the products, I did make a good profit, and I would use that to reinvest in my business.
Okay, all right. Reinvesting, and then you had some venture capitalists in mom and dad. So that's
Yeah,
great to know, and it's good information to share so that other young entrepreneurs can see that it takes sometimes a village
yeah,
to get the business going. Now, besides working the job and learning a little bit on how to manage that and then doing the business itself, you also had an opportunity to be a part of an entrepreneurship institute at Seton Hall University, where you kind of learned in a 2-week program everything from pitching and budgeting and managing. So you probably learned a little bit more from there and putting a business plan together. So tell
yeah,
us about that a little bit.
yeah. So, like you said, it was a 2-week program,
Hmm.
entrepreneurship program at Seton Hall.
Hmm.
And how it works, the whole thing was like a pitch competition.
Hmm.
Um, so what happens is like on the we would create our own business and our own pitch, and we would pitch in front of the entire room.
Mm.
And on the third day, that's when we would usually do that. And the top 6 ideas, they would get selected to compete. So my idea was a home farming company that builds gardens in people's homes. And my teacher he selected my idea to be a part of the competition. So I
Hmm.
was my own business owner, and I had my own team, and we and 5 other people we were competing for a money prize. The top three gets cash prize, and the goal was to gain the most money and gain more the most investors.
Wow, wow. And even though you did not make it in the top three, you were somewhere around the fourth
Yeah,
person,
fourth
the
place.
first fourth group to come in. Your professor had some kind words to say about your idea.
Yeah, he said that my idea he really loved my idea, and how he said it was like most viable, so like it would be like a real thing.
Mm,
So he really loved my idea and how hardworking I was. And I also not just from him, but also
mhm,
from many other people who came to my table. They were
mhm.
mentioning how my idea was like so fantastic, and they really loved it.
Wow, that's great. That's great. And then, you kind of took everything on the road, and then you were a part of our annual Love and Unity Festival. And you were able to be a vendor this was the first time you were a vendor at an event, right? So you got to be a part of that. And, again, crowning moment, you made the paper. You made the West
Yeah,
Orange Chronicle. You want to talk about that a little bit?
yeah. It was it. At first, I was kind of nervous because it was my first time venturing at a place, and I didn't realize that there was one lady who came up to me. She was asking if it was fine if she could ask me some questions, so I was okay with it. Um, and she was asking me some questions about my business, and little did I didn't know that she was actually um, kind of doing like a little interview, like for the newspaper. So by the time there was sometime later in the fest, there was another lady who came up to me, asking, this is Justin Brister, and she said that it was for the newspaper. So I was really happy about that, and now I saw myself in the local newspaper. So I was really glad about it.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
exciting.
fun.
And and you it went out throughout the town and talked about the Love and Unity Fest, and then you got to be featured. That it is definitely uh an achievement. Not everyone gets a chance to have that opportunity happen, being such a young entrepreneur and then getting your first vendor opportunity and being featured. It's just great, right?
Yeah.
Now, going back to gardening a little bit, was there anything about it that kind of surprised you? Anything that you learn as you're learning in this process? Anything surprise you?
Um, Definitely like when I like, especially when I like first started, and still like to this day, like I didn't know how like I don't need a lot of plants to produce a lot of fruit. Like there
Mm,
would be like there's many times where like just from one tiny seed produces like a whole lot of fruit, like
hmm
over like over 20 fruits, like especially like for example like with tomatoes, like
Yeah.
one seed can it produces a lot of tomatoes, like enough to make tomato sauce. Like it's just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. And um, all of these things are great learning experiences and great opportunities for you to just kind of see yourself doing something in this field in the future. What does that look like for you beyond high school and college?
So yeah, I plan on I like after high school, I plan on continuing my business, and I I want to inspire other people to grow their own food too, and like that's my goal, and
Hmm.
to know like no matter what space you live in, like no matter how small, like there's a way to live a sustainable life, and there is a way to have a garden.
Mm.
You don't have to have a lot of land. You don't have to have a big space to have a little garden.
Wow. Wow. And a lot of people don't know that. You think gardening and everything, you have to have this whole plot of land. And, you have learned and shown us, and probably, I don't want to give away any secrets, but you probably will show people in your next time you have a farmer's market how you can do urban farming and indoor farming, and grow a whole field's worth of vegetables inside, right?
Yes.
And you have a grow tent and hydroponic systems. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, right?
Mhm. Yes. Hydroponic. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, you're gonna have to school us on that whole process another time. So, how do you think this whole experience has shaped you as a person?
um, I would say it definitely it boosted my self esteem. And at first when I started my farmers market, I was like, oh, I really hope they like it, and I didn't really know what to expect. Um, but it's like when I showed people my garden, I did not even worry about anything, and it's like this was my own space,
Mm,
and and like everyone loved it, and they were complimenting me, and it just really made me feel like wow, this like I am making an impact, and it's like
mm.
this is actually a great business.
Yeah, yeah, it is definitely. That's wonderful to hear. And now, I always like to kind of glean a little bit from my bosses, and you're one as well. Um, Called boss tips. If you can give some boss tips to other young entrepreneurs like yourself or younger, what tips would you give them based on your experience?
I would say entrepreneurs, if you're passionate about something and you want to make it a real thing, like just go and do it, and there's nothing stopping you. Don't let anyone tell you like you can't do this. Like you can do this.
Mm,
um
mm,
and it's like you want something, just go for it.
yeah. And now, would you have any different advice that you would give to an adult entrepreneur or another adult wanting to branch out and do their own business?
I would say um to know your self-worth, and it definitely, like, you're passionate about what you do, and you're the one who knows most about it, and no one can tell you you can't do this, or no one can correct you. Like, if this is something that you know how to do, you know what you're doing. So definitely to not sell yourself short.
Mm, okay. Okay. It had an emotional mom moment there. I just love that. Love that. So, so proud. So, thank you, son,
Thank you.
for your knowledge and expertise and your gift. You're allowing your gift and talent to be shared with the world, and we appreciate that. And in your 17 years, you're so wise.
Yeah,
I
thank
love
you.
that, and so proud of you. We both are. Everyone here is so proud of you. So. We want to give others the opportunity to be able to reach out to you, and to if you have a mailing list, or how can people reach you to be able to connect with you and know when your farmers market is happening, or other things that you want to have available for sale.
Yeah, so people can reach me through my email, gracegardenNJ@gmail.com. And also my Instagram handle is at jtech with a K, Brister.
Okay, all right. JTech Brister Instagram, and your email gracegardenNJ@gmail.com. All right, Jess. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We love and so proud of you. And for anyone that missed any part of this, it'll be on my feeds. You can always rewatch it. And please do share it with an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur to be. And be sure to watch the rest of the season of Boss Talk. We have some other bosses, great bosses coming up to share their expertise and knowledge with you. And thank you for watching. Thank you, Jess.
Thank you so much for having me.